Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So what is going on today, guys? I've got XRP up here on the daily, and as of the time of this recording, XRP is trading at around 78.5. So we have seen a bit of a decline today compared to the last two bullish days that we have seen. Throwing this here on the hourly, you guys can see we have come out of that bearish trend. We have come out of this basing pattern. Over the last couple of days, we have moved up. Overnight, XRP did see a high of about 80 cents, and now it's hovering at around 78.5. It has dipped down a little bit over here, but guys, it is just following Bitcoin at this moment in time. Bitcoin overnight did hit 44.3, so 44,300. Now Bitcoin trading at about 43,600 or 700, give or take. Basing in this zone here, okay, we are seeing this old resistance level trying to hold here. Hopefully that can become new support for Bitcoin, right? After that plunge for Bitcoin about a week ago. So hopefully this level will hold for Bitcoin, and we will see that next move up, hopefully getting up to around there, which would be roughly 46,800. This is all baby steps, folks. This is the hourly, let's not forget. Looking on the daily, we have seen some very significant improvements for Bitcoin price. Again, like I said, the last 2 days have been very, very bullish. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Monitor Bitcoin price. Of course, you know, we are still waiting for that 702. What's going to happen up here? Here, I'll draw it again for you guys. What's going to happen at the 702? Is it going to be like, okay, we've had enough, let's drop now? Or is it going to be like, okay, let's keep going? You know, it could really go either way. I think we will see a lot of resistance here, though. I think this will form a significant resistance level before Bitcoin decides to do either that or that. I do think we'll see a lot of activity in this area. And the hint, guys, the hint is if during this point, right, on the way up to the point 702, we see alts really move in and around here, well, that's it. We're assuming money will be flowing out of Bitcoin and into alts, which would mean the Bitcoin trend would be going down. However, if we do not see alts really take off, and I'm not saying, you know, altcoins going up commensurate with how Bitcoin is going up, then that could mean that the rally will continue and Bitcoin will indeed set higher highs. We've got the coin market cap up here. Coin market cap again over 2 trillion, but Bitcoin dominance not really veering far from that 40% mark over the last 24 hours. You guys can see many cryptocurrencies in the space have gained relatively similar amounts, you know, 5%, 4%, 3%, so on and so forth. XRP right now up a square 3% in the last 24 hours. And so the Rational Root here posted this: bounced. This cycle is not over yet, hashtag Bitcoin. What he's demonstrating here, the Bitcoin bull market volatility comparison from 2011, 2013, 2017, and finally 2021, which now we're finally in 2022. But this chart was just from a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. The point he's trying to make here is, and we've seen this on the Bitcoin chart, I don't have to bring it up again, the fact that the bull runs over time have become longer and longer and less volatile as the price of Bitcoin gets higher and higher. And so he's taking this trend line, the back trend crossing over, showing how in some of these cases it bounced off that trend line twice, like in 2011. Same thing for 2013, but we're seeing that angle become smaller if we were to assume that we're comparing it to the horizontal axis. So passing above the trend, then bouncing with that final leg up. In 2017, we did not see that bounce. However, it did cross over, bounce, and then this would have been the second bounce. However, it didn't go down as low as that trend line before going up. And so here we are today, this point here where people are suggesting we are in a bearish market, past the trend line, bounce. And so the question mark remains, are we going to go up? Now, 3 times in the past, we have gone up. That is not to say we are going to go up this time, but it does still paint a very bullish picture for Bitcoin. This one, guys, from Michael at Val5 links, hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars are set to flow into Bitcoin as US inflation hits 7% for the first time in nearly 40 years. We got to remember, we are not in a typical economic circumstance. By no means is the economy robust, safe, dependable. You know, I think all those terms come to mind as I'm trying to describe the economy. It is by no means any of those things. So this is also something we have to pay attention to. US inflation rate just hit 7%. The latest consumer price index, or the CPI, report spurred a greater than 3% and 4.5% rebound in price value for Bitcoin and Ethereum, moving their unit value above 43,000 and 3,300 respectively, while the past trend suggests the $11 trillion gold market as the top choice for the sturdy hedge against dollar devaluation. The response of the crypto market to current inflation reveals the willingness of many to turn to cryptocurrencies this time. So cryptocurrencies in this particular fledgling economy, I suppose, are more popular, and so more people are likely going to turn to them. This is especially true for many middle to high income citizens looking to protect their cash balances and near liquid investments against value erosion. That's the other thing, right? There were many people that learned their lesson in the 2008-2009 stock market collapse. So I think, that was only 12, 13, 14 years ago. So for those people, I think, if they were in their 20s or 30s or even 40s or even 50s, if they had money in the stock market, they definitely learned something from that point because that wasn't so long ago. And now that we have this new investment vehicle, cryptocurrencies, and since they have likely learned something from that, now, maybe more people are seeing an opportunity to buy into cryptocurrencies to hedge against this precarious market. We have already seen the entire crypto market grow, since let me throw this on the weekly. Since the beer flu pandemic started, this again, guys, is the total crypto market cap here on the weekly. And so, just to kind of demonstrate where we were back in March of 2020 when lockdowns began, this was the point here, guys. This was the catalyst for everything to move up. And so, sure enough, many suggested that we were in a bear market at this point in the spring and summer. The entire cryptocurrency market did make new all-time highs at that point. And so we're retracing a little bit now, but I think Q1 of 2022 is going to be an interesting quarter to pay attention to. Also down here, I want to mention crypto hedging is a growing trend according to Glassnode. The latest increase brings temporary relief for Bitcoin, which has seen a drought of retail investors in the last month. The current downtrend has left many recent investors anchored around the $52,000 resistance mark, below the water on their investment capital. With the predicted rise in inflation, though, many like MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor, who maintains that BTC will be a $100 trillion market cap asset, have argued that Bitcoin has matured to serve as a hedge asset against the dollar at par with gold. Well, Michael Saylor, obviously, we know he does own a lot of Bitcoin, so it serves him well to say that. Nevertheless, I do not disagree. I do think, the entire crypto, it doesn't even have to just be Bitcoin. Of course, we know this market is still very much in lockstep with Bitcoin. So, altcoins tend to rally when Bitcoin rallies. They have not really separated. Of course, you will find some anomalies here and there. Nevertheless, what's good for Bitcoin is good for alts. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, as they say. The other thing I wanted to mention is this, guys. Michael Van de Pope's tweet here. Bitcoin is ready for the biggest bull run in history. Now, I've showed these types of graphs on this channel in the past. This is Bitcoin Entity Adjustment Dormancy Flow. And for those of you guys who do not know what that is, because it's kind of a maybe a bit of a complicated term, the Entity Adjusted Dormancy Flow, a ratio of cryptocurrency's going market value to the annualized dollar value of coin dormancy, has dropped below, so this is with this particular case here, has dropped below 250,000. But dormancy refers to the average number of days each coin transacted remained dormant or unmoved. I think that is the more important point you have to take away here. A gauge of the market's spending patterns. So when coins are more dormant, we usually see support building. We saw it in 2012, we saw it in 2015, 2019, 2020, throughout 2021, and now, guys, we are seeing it again over here. The other thing we have to pay attention to is this does not necessarily correlate to all-time market lows. I mean, in some cases it did, like in 2012 and in 2015. But as we moved on through 2019, it did correlate here. But look at this, 2020, that was not a market low. Also over here, the more recent one in 2021, spring of 2021, that also was not a market low, but we did see that entity adjusted dormancy flow level go lower. And now, guys, in 2022, we are seeing the same thing. So historically, after these lows, we did see a pop to the upside. We have seen it without fail. 2012, 2015, pop to the upside. 2019, a pop to the upside. 2020, a pop to the upside. 2021, a pop to the upside. So what are we going to see in 2022? Again, I cannot guarantee you anything. I'm just bringing you guys the data. So some positive news there for those of you guys still holding altcoins and perhaps even still holding Bitcoin. But I want to continue, guys, because there's a lot coming out. First, I wanted to mention this. Ripple partner Airwallex officially kicks off in Singapore. This one coming from Matthew Liny on Twitter. Cross-border payment company Airwallex announced its official launch in Singapore following its grant of a major payment institution, or MPI, licensed by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which we know has worked with Ripple, and a beta launch in November last year. So Airwallex partnered with Ripple, and they have now received a grant from the MPI, licensed by another Ripple-friendly organization, namely the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Singapore businesses will now have access to Airwallex's suite of global payment services, including global account issuance, domestic and cross-border money transfer at market-leading rates, multi-currency wallets, and online payment acceptance. Airwallex's global customers will also be able to receive funds locally in SGD, making their businesses more accessible to the Singapore market. Other key Airwallex offerings, such as multi-currency company and employee cards, spend management, and API suite for technology-first businesses that require embedded payments and financial services, will be progressively rolled out. So this is great for the XRP ecosystem. This is great for value added to the XRPL. In September of 2021, Airwallex had secured a money service business license in Malaysia with an expected launch in the coming months. They raised about $300 million in a Series E funding round. And Nazim Ali, the CEO of Airwallex, this is what he said: "With this official launch, we're pleased to be able to empower Singapore businesses in the same way by supporting their payment needs across the entire transaction life cycle. Our launch in Singapore is just the beginning of a wider journey. We look forward to expanding our product suite and supporting businesses in Singapore, as well as tapping into the influence as a leading tech and innovation hub to better serve our customers in the region." Singapore, very Ripple enabled. Now we're seeing Ripple partner Airwallex officially kicking off in Singapore, guys. Brand new news just coming out today. So I thought that was interesting. I wanted to thank Matthew Liny for bringing that to our attention. We also heard the story a few months ago. Crypto.com got the naming rights for the former Staples Center in LA. Well, now we're seeing more cryptocurrency companies chomping at the bit, guys. This is coming from XRP Crypto Wolf. Mexico's national soccer team has added Ripple XRP ODL partner BITSO as a sponsor as well. From what I understand, BITSO is the largest exchange in Mexico, and so that would make sense, wouldn't it? Latin American exchange. BITSO has become the first crypto sponsor for the Mexican national team. The soccer team, which counts 98,700 followers on its English language Twitter account, so not even its Spanish language one, but just the English language one, will work with BITSO to offer crypto education opportunities in Mexico and also develop a series of NFTs that the exchange will distribute. BITSO is not disclosing the sponsorship value, a spokesperson said. So just some more news there, just demonstrating how big cryptocurrency is getting. We recognize that name, BITSO. They are an ODL partner. So this, to me, is the next logical step, I suppose, sponsorship. When you have money, you want to grow your business, you can utilize those funds in order to keep promoting yourself, promoting your cryptocurrency exchange. And so in Mexico, this is exactly what BITSO has decided to do. Just a coincidence that it is an ODL partner. Of course, in my mind, I could not see Ripple partnering up with a small, piddly crypto exchange as an ODL partner. They need to partner with companies with a robust enough infrastructure in order to facilitate those XRP transactions, especially once we see that volume soaring. So that's some more great news here, guys, coming from XRP Crypto Wolf. I saw this, guys, from the Bearable Bull. The past few days have been massive, and I do not disagree. Powell says report on digital currencies is ready, and stablecoins/CBDCs can coexist. I talked about that in a video a couple of days ago. Ripple and the SEC both delay case for a month, which we talked a little bit about yesterday, and we're going to touch on again today. And Tom Emmer proposes a bill to ban the Fed from having a China-like CBDC. Something big is brewing, and I like it. So, to the point of the Tom Emmer proposal, today I introduced a bill prohibiting the Fed from issuing a central bank digital currency directly to individuals. And so here's why it matters. He's linked the bill here in the tweet thread, but let me get on with this. As other countries like China develop CBDCs that fundamentally omit the benefits and protections of cash, it is more important than ever to ensure the United States' digital currency policy protects financial privacy, maintains the dollar's dominance, and cultivates innovation. It sounds like in a perfect world this would be the case, but of course, we've got the World Economic Forum's influence kind of nagging us there like an annoying mosquito ready to suck our blood. CBDCs that fail to adhere to these three basic principles could enable an entity like the Federal Reserve to mobilize itself into a retail bank, collect personal identifiable information on users, and track their transactions indefinitely. Not only does this CBDC model raise single point of failure issues, leaving Americans' financial information vulnerable to attack, but it could be used as a surveillance tool that Americans should never be forced to tolerate from their own government. Requiring users to open an account at the Fed to access a United States CBDC would put the Fed on an insidious path akin to China's digital authoritarianism. So Tom Emmer, right on top of this, understanding why following China's model is not the right way to go. Of course, we know governments aligned with the WEF proposal of the Great Reset want to implement this type of surveillance. So Tom Emmer is kind of calling them on it. Continuing here, requiring users to open an account. All right, I already went over that. Any CBDC implemented by the Fed must be open, permissionless, and private. This means that any digital dollar must be accessible to all, transact on a blockchain that is transparent to all, and maintain the privacy elements of cash. In order to maintain the dollar status as the world's reserve currency in a digital age, it is important that the United States lead with a posture that prioritizes innovation and does not aim to compete with the private sector. Simply put, we must prioritize blockchain technology with American characteristics rather than mimic China's digital authoritarianism out of fear. I could not have said it better myself. So Tom Emmer is on our side, guys. He sees right through the Great Reset plan and is basically calling out global elites, not so directly, but indirectly, basically suggesting we cannot have this for our people. Any country that does this essentially subscribes to communist ideologies, and therefore, well, I think you guys get it. Communism equals bad. Okay, so let me keep going, guys, because there was some news just put out today. And, I know in this morning's video, I discussed some other reasons as to why I think they could have delayed the lawsuit. I mean, the official statement never washes with me 100%. I mean, it could partially be the reason. But anyway, let me get to this, guys. This is from Tim, posting this clip here from Fox Business with Liz Klayman. Gasparino and Klayman explain it right here. Listen to this.
Omicron has struck again. XRP has added more than 4% to its value over just the last 24 hours on news that proceedings in the Securities and Exchange Commission versus Ripple case will have to be pushed back now a month due to the spread of new COVID infections. To Charlie Gasparino with the latest breaking developments in the case.
This is unbelievable. This is a Fox Business report that moved that from Ellie Terrick, my producer, and I've been posting some stuff more recently. Our reporting has moved XRP. Here's what we know about this case. We were just asking simple questions. Where is it? People thought, early this year there would be some movement in the Ripple case versus the SEC. The SEC suing Ripple, the big technology company, over its XRP cryptocurrency, saying it's really a security that needs to be registered with the SEC. Ripple says no way, we're no different than Ethereum and Bitcoin. And this thing's going to be hashed out in court. It's probably the biggest crypto case out there. It's going to set the stage for SEC enforcement going forward, how much authority they have versus the CFTC. So keep an eye on this. But we were just asking simple questions, Lizzie. Where the hell is it? It's, into January, where's the movement? We found out there was really no movement. And then we do a little digging. Here's what Ellie essentially came up with. Both the SEC and Ripple are asking the judge in this case, Judge Torres, a federal judge, to delay the case amid the COVID surge. They are having a hard time getting all the witnesses, and there's about 8 left of the 16 they want to depose, and they want to depose them face to face. It's very hard to do this over Zoom because these things could last 7 hours. There's a 7-hour limit. So in order to really get to the bottom of it, of a deposition, you kind of got to go back and forth. And because of the COVID surge, it's hard to do that right now. And they don't want to do it via Zoom. And it's both sides saying, yeah, please delay this. I think the deadline for depositions was this week. And I know. It's now been delayed, or they both asked the judge to delay it to February 28th. We'll see what the judge says. Usually when both sides ask for a delay, they say okay.
So the bear flu surge, that is the reason why they're delaying for one entire month, actually more than a month. So, unpopular opinion here from Wrath of Kahneman. It's easy to see why the SEC versus Ripple case has been pushed back this time. One or two of the experts or their children getting the beer flu sets things back a couple of weeks. Both sides agreed to it. If you get the beer flu, I mean, it lasts for 2 weeks. I recently got it last month, guys, and I got the Delta version, may I add. I got the hardcore version. And I mean, I'll just put it to you this way. I did not miss a day putting out videos for you. Read into that as you will. Now, I'm not saying people should be going out and infecting other people or any of that, but what I am saying is, does this really wash? So, Wrath of Kahneman down here posting Stuart Alderoty's tweet about this, and so this was his first reaction. In all seriousness, the football field with no referee analogy Gary Gensler insists on using is wrong. The truth is the SEC uses regulation by enforcement to create an uneven playing field and picks winners and losers according to opaque rules they make up as they go along. His speech says a high-impact case pulls many other actors back from the line. Does that sound like regulation by enforcement to anyone else? The SEC intends that the mere filing of the case chills behavior, regardless of whether they are right on the law or the facts, because after all, that's why the SEC plays the delay card and uses it to their advantage. So much for justice delayed is justice denied. How about publicly committing to moving the Ripple case as swiftly as possible with no more delays? So he was referring to Gary Gensler's comment, something else with regards to this tweet thread. But, coming down to this last point here, justice delayed is justice denied. We really should be getting more of a verdict sooner. And I think the beer flu is just a convenient excuse. Let's not forget, what do they say? They tell you to isolate for 5 days or 10 days. I think it's actually gone down. The CDC has actually lowered that amount of time. So how about this? Let's call it 7 days. Why can't the final expert witnesses just isolate 7 days, do their final depositions, and let's get on with it? Why do we need an entire month? Dictator Know-It-All saying, now I'm very confused. So why has Ripple requested a delay of 6 weeks with the SEC? Jeremy Hogan responding, only two possible reasons Ripple would agree to the extension. The SEC requested it, and Ripple knew the court would grant the extension or give even more time. Or two, it benefits Ripple for some reason. So example, a Ripple expert is sick and needs a couple of weeks to be healthy. So some things that lawyer Jeremy Hogan here has noticed that may not be on our radar, considering we are not legal experts. But then, guys, there's also this from Stéphane Hubert. Want to know the reason for the external extensions? This is the reason. So another point that Stéphane brings up, this was from the Ripple versus Tetragon 2021 verdict, if you guys remember that. An SEC settlement necessarily requires the authorization of an enforcement proceeding. Finding that such an authorization triggers a securities default would render the explicit inclusion of settlements to be meaningless. Ripple pleaded with the SEC not to determine within its own theater that XRP is a security. The question is not yet resolved, so a determination has not yet been made. And here's the point. And when it is made, it will be made by the district court. So not even by the SEC, guys. That the SEC is not the authority making the determination on this track is permissible under the agreement. The possibility that the ultimate determination of whether XRP is a security may be made by another governmental authority. So it is unlikely that Tetragon will prevail at trial in proving that the enforcement action is a securities default. They are saying, guys, it is going to be made by another different government authority. Darwin Boy down here saying this is the exact issue. I think the SEC is way out of its authority going after Ripple, as they do not have established laws to deal with this situation. Only Congress can make laws which the regulations then can enforce. Republican Tom Emmer hinted at new legislation the other day. And so I just talked about Tom Emmer's recent stance on CBDC specifically. Keep Calm and Think says, things that make you go, Tom Emmer, new digital currency legislation coming soon. And you guys remember when he said, my position is very clear, XRP is not a security? That was a great one. Wanted to thank Stéphane Hubert for posting that. So can the SEC really win the case? Well, Crypto Eddie here posted this, the Ripple XRP case. Former SEC chief is telling you the SEC can, in fact, lose. There's a lot on the line for the program, says Robert Cohen, the first SEC chief of the cyber unit. Listen to this. It's only 34 seconds long.
So on the question of the implications of Ripple XRP, I mean, on the one hand, it's only one case. It's only one judge. It's district court. But for such a bit, a new innovative area where people are following, as Christy went through those decisions, people are reading every line of every decision. there's a lot on the line, I think. There's a lot on the line for the program. If the commission loses a big case on a significant legal issue, it's not necessarily binding. It's one district court, unless it gets appealed. But to lose a prominent case, I think, has the potential to have a significant impact on the program.
So it is possible the SEC can lose, and he says it would have a significant impact on the program. This coming from the first SEC chief of the cyber unit, former SEC chief Robert Cohen. So will the SEC even actually be the body that comes up with the final verdict? Or will they have to revert to another governmental authority as they did in the Tetragon case? The beer flu, perhaps? Just a convenient excuse. I know I did just do a video on this morning. I will link it up here in the description. All things that make me go, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.